crime
Hey, my
tales in
sweet
her own
darlings.
way.
So happy you're
Love
here.
for everyone she
Guys,
shares. Life
got some
stories
marshmallows.
told with flair. She dives into mystery, brings suspense
Hi,
in every scene.
hi, Randy.
Smiling
Good to see
bright
you,
with
sweetie.
heart so pure. In her
Hey,
world
guys.
we all adore. This Outy's world.
Hey, good to see you.
It's where
How
we
is everybody?
turn to
Hey,
life
how's everybody
and
doing?
fill with
Hey,
every
darlings.
word.
How is everybody?
Late nights and coffee
Oh, good to see you.
sips, unfolding plots from twisted scripts. Through dark
Hey,
days,
guys.
she
Sorry.
lights our way, making sure we're here to
Hey,
stay. It's true,
good to see y'all.
world
Hi, darling.
is where we turn to
Hi,
life
my darlings.
and fills with every word.
Hey,
Late nights and coffee sips.
hey, my sweet darlings. So good to see y'all. How's it going? It's been a day or two, ain't it? Yeah. I Gatekeeper and Miss Dewey had company last week, so we missed a week. And I tell you what, it just seems like we're way behind when we do that. But you know what? It was wonderful seeing his family, and we love them. So let me say hello, Miss Eve. Oh, and Anita Diaper. You know, I've heard about you, Anita. Good to see you, honey. Juicer, my juicer. TMI, sweet TMI. And there's Anita Casey. Hey, Anita, my sweet darling. Good to see you. And my sweet Bubbles. Love you, Bubbles. And let's see who else. We got Lady 7 Up, sweet Lady 7 Up. And there's our sweet Brooks. Sweet Brooks Dumpling. And Jennifer B, good to see you, sweet darling. I'm so happy to see y'all. But y'all are in for a treat tonight, I tell you. We uh we have had the privilege to meet Miss Emily Adams. And Emily likes to be called M, by the way. And I'm going to go ahead and bring her up and introduce her to everyone. Hi, Em.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And we are so pleased and so blessed to have you with us tonight to share your story. Um, we know it's very tragic story, and but just know that everyone that's here, everyone that's in the chat, are all praying for you and are behind you and with you, and we're just extremely grateful for you to be here tonight.
Thank you. I'm delighted. Thank you so much for having me. I feel like it's an important story just because what happened to me is still happening to teens today, and it's really important to stop it.
I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. So, but if y'all remember, on my last live, we gave you guys a heads up and a little backstory on the Bethesda Home for Girls that was around that's down in Mississippi, down around Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and unfortunately, M was an inmate there, and we
Yep.
say inmate because these girls were held prisoner, and thank God M was allowed to escape. And, well, by the grace of God, M escaped along with several other girls. But M is here to share her story with us, and we pray that everyone just continue to pray for her as she shares with us. So, M, how do you want me to ask you questions, or do you just want to start from the beginning?
Sure. If you want to start by asking me questions, I never know exactly what people want to know about my experience. So if you feel like asking me questions, that's great.
Well, if you
Or if,
would, if you could, just give us a little backstory on how you became
an
an
inmate.
inmate there. Yes.
Sure. Well, it was 1984, and I was 15. Um, I was actually not the worst kid out there. I was an A student. I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. I was still a virgin. I wasn't out there running around with a bunch of boys. I didn't skip school. I taught Sunday school for mentally handicapped children at my church. I was the only one in my family that did go to church. So by some standards, I really wasn't that tough of a child, but I did fight with my mom a lot. We were not getting along very well. I've always been a bit of a sarcastic child, and my mom really didn't appreciate that very much. And I had gotten a job in a nursing home, and my mom caught me smoking a couple of cigarettes there. And so she had me eat an entire pack of cigarettes, and I got nicotine poisoning. And so long and short of that, social services was going to get involved. I got kicked out of the house. I ended up living with some friends. My parents, I think, panicked because social services got involved. And somehow, I don't know how exactly, but they did find Bethesda. And they had me kidnapped off my friend's farm in Colorado and taken to Bethesda in Mississippi. And
When we talk about the Bethesda House, the Bethesda
mhm.
House was a Christian based
It was an
home.
independent fundamental Baptist home. It's loosely based in religion. I refer to it as a cult. I don't think it was a church at all. It was a cult because we had absolutely no say in what happened to us. We were brainwashed. We were starved. We were systematically beaten. We were deprived of sleep. We Every minute of the day was organized for us. We weren't allowed to look at some people, talk to some people. Everything was very regimented. Things that were not allowed in the Geneva Convention happened to us. So I don't think it was a church at all. Even though we were taken to churches and used to beg for money, I don't think they were a church at all. Some people might argue the point with me, and that's fine, but they weren't there. They would wake us up at night and have us walk the halls and use flashlights to look at the girls to make sure they weren't trying to run away. And so our sleep patterns were very disrupted. Like, they would tell us when to sleep, when to go to the bathroom, when to eat. If I weighed 102 pounds, and they put me on a diet because they said I was a fat girl. And I got down to like 82 pounds, I believe it was, before they decided to take me off the fat girl diet.
Oh, what did the fat girl diet consist of?
Well, we were not fed enough food to begin with. Like, we were constantly starving anyway, but the fat girl diet was half of the food. They cut all your trays in half. So we were eating like toilet paper, pages out of the Bible. We were eating toothpaste, leaves, grass when we were outside playing. I think I ate a cricket once. I was so hungry. one of those big black southern crickets. Its legs got caught in my throat. It was just,
Ugh.
it
Just the
was so
thought of that.
scratchy.
Like, ah.
It was just dreadful. But that was also that preacher boys would like us, because preacher boys do not like fat girls. And everything was about training us up to be good preachers' wives.
Right.
We were supposed to grow up and get our Mrs. degree, our MRS degree.
What does the MRS stand for?
Mrs.
Mrs. Gotcha.
Just grow up and get married to a preacher. That's all we were supposed to be good for.
Get up. Wait. Oh, wow. So, I know there was 2 leaders at the home that ran the home. And what was it that the girls were asked to call them? What were they known? What were the leaders known?
I hate to even say it. It just makes me cringe even all these years later. Mama and Papa. It makes me want to vomit. Mama and Papa.
And how long were you there?
Between 17 months and 2 years. I'm not quite sure. Because it was so traumatizing, I can't pin down exactly when I got there. But I know I was 15 when I got there, and I was like a couple of months away from being 18 when I left.
So I know that there were several girls there that were with child or pregnant.
Bethesda,
we might as well say pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bethesda was originally established to be a home for pregnant girls. In 1968, it was originally opened as a home for unwed mothers by Lester Roloff, who was based out of Corpus Christi, Texas. And he hired the Barnwells to run Bethesda. And so they were known for adopting babies out, not always with the proper documentation. So if you were adopted from Bethesda Home for Girls, we are still looking for you, lost babies. So if you're out there and you don't know where your mom is, we might have your mom in our group. Please contact us. You can contact me through Facebook. I'm on TikTok. We have some moms that are still looking for their babies. The girls were forced to give up their babies. Sometimes the adoptions were above board, and sometimes they were not.
I've heard different stories about those adoptions, and I've heard stories that they actually sold some of the babies.
Yes, that's one of my dear sisters, who I'm very close to, tells a story of being forced to help deliver a baby in the back of a van and then count the money when the baby was handed over. And it was just like $300. They handed it over in the parking lot of a grocery store. These were families that went to IFB churches and universities like Jack Hyles, Pensacola Christian College. So they were all IFB families. They were all associated with IFB churches. They were missionaries usually. Missionaries, IFB pastors, they got preference and they got lower prices. It is our allegation that some of the babies did not make it off the Bethesda property. And in fact, we had a search done by the forensic anthropology students.
So, okay,
they were very kind. They went out there and tried to see if they could locate any remains. But after all this time, I don't know what's happening. But they were not able to locate any remains. But some of the babies were put into burn barrels. If they were born prematurely or had some issues, they put them in the burn barrels.
Okay.
Or one was buried on the property, according to some of the girls.
So uh, we've got a gist of you were sent there because you were a troubled teen,
So,
and so
but it makes it very
could you?
hard to track these. We have a hard time tracking these babies down. Recently, we have found a couple, but
Don't know our
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
our
you.
It's okay. It's okay. Our stream is a little off every now and then, so yeah, you guys just bear with us. But
Yeah.
what I know at the end we're going to ask you some questions. But I was wondering if you want to kind of just tell your story of. I know you told us how you got there, and if you want to, you can just share what you want to share with us, and we'll sit back and listen. And if at any time you want to take a break or
Okay.
anything, all you got to do is just let me know. Okay.
Okay. Well, I can kind of give you a rundown of my first day there, which was, as you might imagine, a little bit traumatic. When we got there was this big sign outside in a field across from the dormitory, and it said Bethesda Home for Girls, and we not so affectionately call it the sign from hell. We have a picture of it in our group, and we just cringe every time we see this sign. We're just like, oh my God. But my parents were trying to convince me that this was going to be great. You know, I'm going to have all these girls. We're going to go horseback riding, and there's a pool. And I got there, and like supposedly there was 100 girls there, and it was dead silent. And I knew as soon as I got in those doors and they locked the doors behind me that I was in big trouble because there was no noise. Like nobody was making a sound. And then I saw all these little heads popping outside of the front living room, and they were just looking at me, and they all had on dresses and tennis shoes. And I was like, what in the world? Because I'd never seen anybody wear tennis shoes and dresses together. So I was kind of like, I think I'm in big trouble. And then I'm just going to use the names of the workers because I don't feel like they deserve to be protected because they did what they did. They don't deserve to be protected. Miss Elizabeth took me into her room and made me strip. I was on my period. I was a virgin, so I was hysterical. She made me do jumping jacks, and so I got blood all over the floor. Like I was just beyond hysterical. Then they made me get dressed in a dress that my sister had brought. And then they told me that then they did before they made me get dressed, she did a Lysol enema to make sure I didn't have any STDs. It was the Lysol in the little brown bottles, the one that kind of smells like an old Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very triggering smell. Yeah, not good. I was pretty sure that I did not have an STD because I had never had sex. So I was pretty sure I was clear, but that did not save me from the trauma. And then they put me with my helper that's a girl that had been there for longer. And so for the first 3 months you're there, you're on watch. That means you have to stay within an arm's length of your helper. And you cannot look at other girls who are on watch. You cannot talk to them. You can't look at them. You can't touch their stuff. You can't talk about the same subject that they're talking about. They don't exist. If you do, you get punished. You can go to a board party, which is getting beaten, or you could write 5,000 lines or whatever. So you could live in a room with 3 other girls that you couldn't talk to. It was very unnatural. I mean, you couldn't even look at them. you had to walk with your eyes down on the ground. You couldn't like look up, look anybody in the eye because, that was vanity. You couldn't talk in the hallways. There were just so many rules that, you couldn't help but break a rule because there was just so many rules.
So when you broke a rule, what was the punishment?
It could vary from getting just absolutely chewed apart to you could have to write 5,000 lines in 2 days to they would make you run until you vomited, or you could have to do wall sits until you fell off the wall, or they would put you up against the wall.
I seen a picture of a piece of evidence that was used in a prosecution. And did you ever see that used? It was a paddle, and the paddle had a name.
Mrs. Will's paddle said, "The Lord," on one side it said, "The Lord blistereth," and on the other side it said, "The Lord healeth."
Did you ever see that used?
Are you kidding? They called them board parties. That's how frequently they used them. Yes, one time I was Bob Wills, the owner. He was going to take us out and have us run laps in the field across from Bethesda, and he told us that Black people were living in the woods, and if we ran away, they'd try to rape us and eat us. And I thought I was being funny, and I said, "Can you have them eat us then rape us? Because I'd like to enjoy it." And he beat me. He gave me 50 licks a day for 2 days in a row with that paddle. So I got very familiar with that paddle. We called it hamburger butt because that's what you looked like.
I guess they would bring the blood, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it was a wooden paddle.
Yeah, I used an image of it whenever on my last live. It was actually on the thumbnail. Yeah, it was just horrible. So you said you were there a long time.
Yeah, you were only supposed to be there a year. It's only supposed to be a year, but I was there longer.
Yeah, well, I know I've seen pictures of the what's left of the place, and because Brandy and her family took a trip there, and actually we got to kind of tour it a little bit, and it was just so eerie. I mean, knowing what had happened there.
You can still feel our pain there. Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I went back for the first time. You can. The only building left now is the old dorm. The new dorm is where I was. That's the big building. That's the one I was in, and it burned years ago. I think in 2010 or 2011 that burned down, and that's the main building that I was in. We called it the new dorm. Somebody burned it bound to the concrete, and we were so mad because it's like, who did that? That was ours to burn, not yours.
I'm just wondering. I would hope that someone that needed to burn it burned it. You know what I'm saying? I would hope and pray that it was one of the girls that actually got to light the match to burn it.
I don't know. I got a couple of messages from some teenagers from the town of Hattiesburg, and they said, "We did it for you."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, it really wasn't your place to do that. That was our pain. And if anybody should have burned that daggum place down, it should have been us.
Right.
Because we are the ones that earned it. But, what's done is done. I know it's for sale again. It's been for sale for years. For years, we've all talked about we'd like to buy it and just try to do something good with it. See if we can exorcise the evil out of it. And try to do something not evil with it. But we don't know if we can ever get that out of the ground or not. If it's just too deeply embedded. They opened Bethesda in 1968, which is the same year I was born. So I know when I
You
went
said
back.
you had
Go ahead.
roommates. You had roommates.
Oh,
You
yes.
said you had 2 roommates. So are you in touch with those ladies?
Some of them, yes, we have. I think right now we probably have 100, a little over 100 girls in the group. The group's been going since roughly 2001, 2001. And we've varied up 167, 200 girls. But right now we have about 100. And we've all been fairly close over the years. So we've been very blessed in that we've stuck together fairly tight and created a sisterhood. It's the only good thing that's come out of Bethesda, and it has nothing to do with the people who operated them. So I don't want them to sit back and go, well, something good came out of it.
Right.
Because it has nothing to do with the people who operated it, and it has everything to do with us ladies who were in that facility. We made something good out of it. We have each other. We had to help each other heal and process, because when we came out, nobody knew what was wrong with us, because nobody believed us, because these are church people and you're just troubled kids. You're liars. Nobody wanted to believe what happened to us. And nobody realized that a lot of us had PTSD because we had been locked away. We didn't even know what was going on in the world when we got out. All of a sudden we went from this very quiet, cloistered environment into the big wide world, and they're like, we didn't even know how to choose what to have for breakfast, and all of a sudden they're like, here, make adult choices. What?
You were just thrown out.
Thrown out like garbage. Yeah. And it was not that successful for some of us. Some of us did fine, some of us did not do fine.
So you said that they taught you to be MRSs or Mrs.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, try to get you prepared for married life. So, can you tell me a little bit about how they prepared you?
Well, mostly it seemed to consist of teaching us to be submissive. Obey your husband. Really. They didn't teach us how to sew. They didn't teach us how to cook. They did have us clean a lot.
So, did you have like a daily procedure? So you rose in the morning, probably at a certain time you had to get up.
We had
And
to. We would
can you
get
tell
up.
us about how the day would progress, what your day would consist of? Just a normal day?
I'm not sure exactly what time the lights would go on because we didn't have clocks in there, but they would flip the hall lights on, and we would have like 5 minutes to get up, brush our teeth, get dressed, and be out in the hallway with our Bible for the first Bible reading of the day. Because, got to get that Bible in before breakfast, right? Sorry for those of you who like to read the Bible. I just had enough of it, okay? And then we would line up, count off, go to breakfast. If it was during the school year, we would come back, go to the what counted as a school. There were no teachers. And it was this system called PACES. Are you familiar with those? They're packets of accelerated Christian education. Basically, they're just workbooks. And then 12 of them count as a year. And it's pretty basic stuff. Like, I had enough credits when I got there. Like, I was such a troubled teen that the only thing I needed to do was a couple of math paces in the New Testament and the Old Testament to graduate, right? Because I was such a terrible kid. But I decided to take chemistry and physics because ain't got nothing else to do, right? So they gave me licks in front of the whole school for being vain enough to think I could pass physics and chemistry without a teacher. And what does a girl need with physics and chemistry, right?
Yeah, if you're going to be a wife and a mother, exactly.
Yeah. And I would
Your
like to point out.
expectation.
Exactly. I would like to point out that I have gone on to take both chemistry and physics in college twice, and I have gotten A's. So
Congratulations.
thank you. I graduated magna cum laude from college with a BS, so they can bite me. I am smart enough to do it. So we would do that and everything. Then we would come back and we would have several Bible readings scheduled throughout the day. Everything was Bible readings, counting off, being quiet, and basically waiting for the next scary thing to happen. There was one worker there. Her name was Christy. And her thing was she would pick one person out every day to terrorize. And basically what she would do is she would pick the girl out and tell all her secrets in front of the whole school. Like if the girl had had a miscarriage or an abortion or gave her baby up for adoption, Christy would tell the whole world that. And she would just tear the girl apart and make the girl hysterical. And then she'd just leave her. I'm like, even in the military, when they tear you apart, they build you back up. At Bethesda, they would just tear you apart and leave you that way. They would just leave you torn apart. And then I remember one time, like we were not allowed, we had no TV, we had no radio, we had no books except for the Bible. We weren't allowed to sing anything but Christian music. One girl started singing a rock song in our choir practice, and Miss Christie slapped her out of her chair, like literally knocked her out of her chair, and we sat on her for 3 days. She didn't get up to go to the bathroom. She didn't get up to eat. She didn't get up to go to bed. She didn't get up for anything. We all had to take turns sitting on her for 3 days for singing a rock song. Seems a little extreme.
A little extreme? Seems like a lot extreme.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you get
After
3 meals a day?
Yeah, they were just skimpy. On Saturdays, Saturday mornings, we had to fast for Jesus because apparently he can't hear your prayers unless you're starving more.
It is very, very understandable how you have such a sad outlook when it comes to the Bible and learning with Christ, because let's just be honest, it was shoved down your throat and you weren't taught what God's love really is, and that's so sad. That
It
is
really
so
is.
so sad.
Like I had
Because
faith before I went there, and they took it away from me. Because now I think if God truly loved me, he could have saved me at any time. He could have saved all of us. And like if I was God and somebody was doing that to children in my name, I would have stepped right in and been like, oh, no, 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 no. But that's not what happened. So, I it's very difficult to trust in it when you've
I
been
understand. I understand. But just know that we'll be praying for you and that we will do our best to
Brooks, you're so right. Thank you so much for that comment. That is absolutely right. Using
oh
religion to
wow.
manipulate is so dangerous. It is exactly.
Do you know
Melinda,
Melinda?
thank you, Melinda. I do know Melinda. Hi, sweetheart. It was pure
Thank you.
legalism. Yes. Love
Oh
you,
wow.
Melinda.
Thank you for being here, Melinda. Thank you so much. And if you would like to come up on panel, you are more than welcome to.
She was
Just let me
there
know.
she was there before I was. She was there under the Barnwells. And the Barnwells, as mean and terrible as it was under the regime I was under, she was there under the Barnwells. And the Barnwells were probably 10 times worse than what the Wills were. The Barnwells were Dorothy Barnwell was barred from ever working with children again in the state of Mississippi. That's how bad she was. And her husband was essaying the girls in the barn. And then Dorothy was beating them for attracting her husband. Just. And do you know who Herman Fountain is?
No, I don't know Herman Fountain. Ronald, I
Herman
agree.
Fountain.
It was not God's fault. It was not God's fault. The
I know.
devil
I try not to
had
blame
his hand
God.
in it. The
It's
devil had
difficult.
his hand in it.
He did.
Okay, you can tell us about this person if you'd like.
Herman
Herman.
Fountain ran Bethel Home for Boys in Lucedale, Mississippi. They waterboarded the boys. They used pit bulls to attack the boys at the home. It was a home just like Bethesda, but it was run by Herman Fountain. They would do, like, if anybody wants to jump off, he was barred from the state of Mississippi from ever working with boys again. But he now runs an adult drug men's rehab still in Lucedale at the side of Bethel. And I think that's disgusting. He should not be allowed to work with humans. He chased a police officer down the road with a baseball bat. That's the only thing he ever went to jail for. He never went to jail for abusing the boys. He waterboarded them. They had to do CPR and revive these boys. And he never went to jail for any of that. And that stuff just infuriates me. He's in his 70s and he's still just tootling along, doing his thing. And here I'm in the state of Missouri now. And there's these IFB homes operating here in the state of Missouri. And they are still not licensed by the state. They are still abusing kids. These kids are still getting raped. They're still getting beating. They're still not getting fed. They're being hit in the head with fire extinguishers. Some kid got his face dumped into horse manure for smarting off, so they pushed his face into animal excrement. I mean, that's not how you take care of kids. And I get very, very passionate about it because I feel like it's been going on my entire life. And it needs to stop. And
I couldn't agree more.
I don't know
Melinda, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
It's crazy to me that it still goes on in 2025, that I still have to contact senators and House of Representatives and governors and be like, why are you allowing this to happen in your state? So I try to tell them that you
what
get
all
kids.
Have you done? You said you reached out to two senators, and I guess, I mean, have you went before any of them, or do or
Yes, I testified in front of both the House of Representatives and the Missouri Senate for two laws that we did get passed here in Missouri to help protect the children. It's called the Survivors Laws here in Missouri. And it says that they have to notify the state that they exist, and they have to do background checks on their employees now. But they are still not licensed. And so the kids really, are, in my opinion, are still not protected here in Missouri. I feel like they need to be licensed just like everybody else. The fact that they are a church should not exempt them from the same requirements that an average foster home has. If you have nothing to hide, you should not have a problem with being licensed. I don't understand the problem. We're not coming after you because you're religious. We're just saying you should be held to the same standard as everybody else.
it's accountability.
Exactly. It's accountability and
Accountability.
safety for the
Yes.
children. That's all we want. We're not asking for anything special. We just don't want kids to turn out like me. I testified in DC in front of senators and House of Reps on this level when Paris Hilton went to DC and drummed up support in DC. I went there and testified with her. I'm constantly trying to get homes closed. When the fight with Agape Ranch happened out here in Missouri, I was out there most days with my little sign standing in front of Agape Ranch trying not to get run over by them when they were coming out. I'm very active in trying to get homes closed down. I've talked to multiple people in local governments. We fight like all get out. I've helped a couple of sheriff's investigations, giving them investigations, and there are some people that are in jail. There's some that are waiting jail and some that are waiting trial right now, but not enough.
No, that's not enough.
Not enough.
I don't think there will ever be enough, you know?
No.
I mean, for you to come there and there'll be 100 girls there and you don't hear anyone talking.
No. It
It's
was dead.
just, it's
It was
so
dead
sad.
silence.
With
It was
girls,
dead
teenage
silence.
girls, there should be, I mean, chatter and laughing and just happiness. I mean, it's just so heartbreaking. I've heard stories. Um, I know Brandy's daughter, Cadence, brought the story to our attention, and I'm very
So
grateful for
sweet.
her to
Me too.
bringing it to us, because you know it's sad that such tragedy and such violence and just daggone just evilness that existed, and that they try to sweep under the rug.
Mhm.
And you being the advocate you are, and then trying to stop the future of these places. It's going to take everybody. It's going to take
Yes.
it, everybody in each state that these places are. And if there's
Yes.
not one in your state, you still can reach out. I mean, reach out. I mean, you could
Oh,
reach out to the
absolutely.
president, you know?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Be a voice, be an ally. Like, these kids need help. I mean, just think about it. I mean, I always tell people, you don't want kids to turn out like me. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm warning you.
So, anything with Bethesda in it, or is it related to this home? And because I know that name still exists
It does. Not
in on
necessarily.
homes.
No, not necessarily. The Wills are retired from the business. We drove them out in 2005 after they got shut down in Mississippi. They came here to Missouri, and they opened up another home, and a boy was murdered there here in Missouri. He was stabbed to death. And then another boy got his shoulder broken. We helped with a lawsuit for him. And when he won his lawsuit, they shut down. They are alive. Hi, Bobby Ray and Betty Sue Wills. How you doing there in Arkansas? I hope y'all are not doing well. They shut down and they quit working.
I love the sarcasm. That was great. That was great.
Sorry, I can't help myself.
No, you're fine. You're fine. This platform's for you, honey. You can say whatever you want to say on here. Don't you hold back, okay?
It's just infuriating that they did what they did, and they impacted so many lives negatively for so many years and got away with it scot-free because they say that they're people of God. That's disgusting, and it's a lie. And I do a lot of survivor support. So I do, my stupid earphone keeps falling out. But so I listen to a lot of people who call me who are still struggling with their issues from the home. So it's really infuriating that they're just living their little lives as happy as they can be, living off the money that they made from us. And there's no repercussions. I find that reprehensible. When I got home from Bethesda, I was so brainwashed. Apparently, my parents had taken out a loan for me to go to Bethesda. And my mom made me pay her back $50 a month for, I think I did it for a whole year. Before I realized, wait a minute, they tortured me. Why am I paying to be tortured? Oh, well, I'm glad there's a good Bethesda for your boys in the town. Just keep an eye on it. I'm sorry. I'm just always suspicious, and that's just my background.
Well, I understand. You have every right to be. I mean, you lived it.
Yeah.
You lived it.
I mostly focus on the, my background obviously is in the religious homes. So that's mostly what I do focus on. There are also wilderness programs, which are pretty awful. They take like these city kids who have never been out in the wilderness a day in their lives. And they're big like, you want a fire? Learn how to make one with a stick. You want shelter? Learn how to put a tent up. You know, if they don't, they can't have food. They can't cook they give them rice. They can't cook their rice. It's just, these kids get hypothermia. Some of these kids try to commit suicide. I mean, I don't think the risks are worth the treatment in a lot of these places. We had 2 kids die in a program last week that committed suicide, 2 in 1 week.
And what state was that? Missouri?
No, that was another state.
Another state.
And it was not a religious home. It was a WASP program, which is a worldwide association of specialty programs. And they're more like psych based. So they do like therapy and drugs. But so the program did close down, but they're liable to just reopen up under a different name. What they do is they rebrand. Oh, you're welcome, Melinda. I love you.
Yeah, we are so happy you're here, Melinda. And again, if you want to come up and talk, you can. Just let me know.
Yeah, Melinda, if you ever want to come up and talk about your experience, honey, I know you had quite the experience too, honey. I know for a long time we only talked within our group about our experience because there was such a degree of shame attached to it. Like our parents were like, you had to be sent away. That's a shameful thing. Don't talk about it. And so we didn't really talk about it outside the group. And then I just decided
The problem is that the mental
Yeah.
health programs are not set in place. Many
Yeah.
times, as far as Bethesda goes, we got to mentoring, whatever, no counsel,
Nope.
not any sort of uplifting environment. So there was no therapy. The only the only therapy you got was the
Beatings.
the beatings, the what?
They'd pray for you. We had a girl who came in and she was on mental health drugs, and they just took her off cold turkey. Yeah, I didn't know. I wasn't going to say anything, Melinda. I wasn't going to say
Oh,
anything.
Melinda, that is amazing. So Melinda was one that actually had to give her baby away,
Yeah, she just
and
found him
she
recently.
oh, Melinda, that is wonderful. I would love for you to come up and tell your story. I mean, you don't have to do it where it's already been an hour tonight, but if you would like to, I would absolutely love for you to come up and tell your story on the next one, actually, if you'd like, because
I
you
think her.
definitely have a big story too to tell, and I'm so happy for you. She says, I personally did not know to talk about it. It was my norm in the environment that I grew up in, then later learned the true love of Christ. Amen, Melinda. Amen. Because we have a merciful God and God is good. I do not believe that God had his hand in anything that happened in the Bethesda home
I
in
don't either.
Mississippi.
That's why
I
I say it
don't.
was a cult. That's why I'm like,
It
it was
was.
not a church. That was a cult. God had nothing to do
I
with it.
feel it was. Yes. I feel it was too. Because I know my God and my God is a merciful God and the devil is real and the devil is I mean he has his hand wherever God is, the devil is there because the devil he works to get God away from everybody. You know what I mean? He wa-
Hmm.
he he's a he wants to make the world an evil place. And God knows we're there right now. We're there right now.
Yeah, a lot of the girls didn't grow up in the best homes. I mean, it was a way to relieve others of troubled girls. Like it was just a way to. I really think that if you're going to put your child in a troubled teen program, then you need to go to a troubled parent program.
Now you need to learn it first. Exactly.
Hmm. You better figure out what you're doing wrong too.
Right. That's exactly right. Because um we lead by example.
Hmm. Like it was really funny because look for red flags. Like if they tell you you can't talk to your child on the phone for 3 months, and when you do, they're going to listen in. And if you say something that you don't like, they don't like, they're going to hang up on you, and you can't see your child for 6 months. Something is probably wrong.
Yeah. Really.
Yep. Girls had been there for a lot of years. I know there was girls at Bethesda when I was there. Some had been there 4 or 5 years. It was horrendous. We had one girl there with 9 years old. Can you imagine being 9 at
Oh
Bethesda?
my God.
She doesn't even, we found her years later and she doesn't even remember her childhood.
I
Like
know
her
you
whole
that
childhood blotted.
they charged the
It's a,
families. It was a money making racket. I mean cult, basically.
not only did they charge the families, they took us out to churches to beg. They'd take us out and make us sing, and then they would make us stand up and give testimonies. And like we'd give testimonies that weren't even true. Like I would have to get up and say that I did drugs or that I was a whore or that I was a slut. And like I was a virgin and I'd never even done drugs or had alcohol. I'd never even sipped a beer. that we would have to do it or we'd get in trouble. That they would, because they would sit there and say, give us money for these dirty, nasty girls. We're the only ones that wanted to help them.
Wow, we were
honey.
scolded for having a piece of lint after dusting or a drop of water in the sink. Girls got swat
Yeah.
for those incidents. It was a big adjustment when I went home. I cried a lot.
Oh,
Oh, I
honey.
can imagine.
It was a big adjustment. Like, I know it was a big adjustment for me when I got home. I can't imagine, Melinda, when you went home. Everything was such a control issue. Like, really, like when you got home, you didn't know how to do anything because everything had been controlled. Like, the outside smelled bad to me because I had been inside the building for so long. I'd been inside the building for almost 2 years. So just to be outside, just the outside smelled bad. Yep. Roloff would stand the girls up in our big church when they were in the honeybees and say, look at these poor girls. They were drug addicts and now they belong to Jesus. Yep.
So, what was the honeybees?
It was a singing group from Roloff's place in Corpus Christi. And they would sing through their nose. They were very nasal. I can still, when I read honeybees, I heard them in my head. They would sing like this. You can find Lester Roloff on YouTube. He had this very distinctive voice. It gives me nightmares still.
Now, we have watched some things about him and read a few articles about him. We are just getting started with this story and learning about it, and I'm excited. I am so excited about bringing awareness,
Well, whatever we can
to
do to
this.
help you. Like, there's such a huge rabbit hole to go down because it did start like in 1968. The ones, the girls that traveled with Roloff were exploited. He trafficked girls and boys. Roloff was like one of the biggest traffickers. 2 of the girls stole our church secretary's car and went on the run. Good for them.
Yes, good for them.
Good for them.
That's awesome.
Good for them. We have, I still occasionally have Bethesda mares. That's what we call the nightmares associated with the place because all of us still have them. I'm not as often because it's been like 40 years, but we still have them. Like, I still dream that I'm trying to run away. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't, but I'm always trying.
Gotcha.
I'm in a stupid dress trying to get up a tree.
Do you remember what was the cost of the girls to be in?
They charged whatever they thought the parents could afford. I think my parents were paying like $600 a month back in 1984, 85.
Wow.
And
that was a lot of money back in
that was a lot of money.
A lot of money.
That's why my parents took out a loan because my mom didn't work. It was my dad worked for an airlines. He didn't work. He wasn't a pilot or anything. He was just an on ground. And so they took out a loan, and I don't know how they paid it off after I quit paying them back. I hope it took them forever. Hope it ruined their credit.
So, how was your relationship with your parents when you went home?
Well, that's a great question. I have not spoken with my parents in 34 years. My dad passed away in 2013, unfortunately. We did try to repair the relationship after I got home from Bethesda, but for a number of reasons, it didn't work out. And my mom is now in her mid 70s, and I don't think we'll ever talk again. I did try to talk to her one time about the things that happened to me at Bethesda, and her response was, "Well, you were so happy in your letters." I'm like, "Well, Mom, they read the letters that I wrote to you, and I didn't want to get my butt beat." And she's like, "You would have told me if something was going on."
Those letters would have never got sent, would they?
No. And I would have just gotten my butt torn up. So,
Wow. That's
yeah. So, you learn to play the game after a while and you just don't get your butt beat. So,
yeah. So
and
whenever I noticed Melinda said, oh, there's another one. She says, I know my son's adoptive mother said the church took up an offering for them to adopt him. It was $250.
good
So
grief.
that's I had heard about the $250. So the church were the adoptive families, right? So when the girls would
Yeah.
give birth, the families of the church would be the ones to take the babies. Am I correct with that?
Well, before the Candy H lawsuit, the girls would give birth at Forest General. They would stay at Bethesda until they went into labor. And then they would go to Forest General and give birth. After the Candy H lawsuit, they would make them leave at 7 months and go to like foster homes through the church. So, and I don't really know what happened to them after the 7th month because we wouldn't see them again. $250. Yeah, I know. Some of them $250, $300, and you're like, that's not much for a baby, is it?
No.
And like they handed some of them over in a parking lot. Like, here you go. Congratulations,
Okay.
here's your baby.
So I'm going to get into something that's probably, I don't know. I'm going to ask you, and if you want to share it, you can. If you'd rather not, that's fine too. But I know you. I'm feeling like a lot of these girls were groomed for. I know you said that there was a lot of trafficking, and being trafficking would would the girls be used for any kind of pedophilia, any kind of sex trafficking?
Do you mean while they were at Bethesda?
Mm-hmm.
Under the barn wells? Yes. Under the wills, no. I can say that at least I was spared that. The wills did not traffic the girls. With Bert and Dorothy Barnwell, Bert was helping himself. So stay out of the barn at Bethesda.
Hmm.
I went back when I went back to Bethesda in 2021. It was the first time I'd been back, and a lot of the girls had asked me to go find the barn, and I did. And the minute you step in that barn, you're just like, poop. The hair on the back of your neck is up, and you're like, nope, I want out of this barn.
So, what happened in the barn?
Sexual assaults by Bert Barnwell, who was
So
the
they
original.
didn't traffic the girls out, but they
That
used the girls there, right?
that was that was there was another. Oh, now I'm blanking on this. There was another home in the area that did that. Now I got to think of his name. Oh, of course I've gone blank. New Bethany. The guy that ran New Bethany, he was the sex trafficker, and he was known for shipping the girls out and having preachers and stuff come to New Bethany to have sex with the girls. He was the sex trafficker. So Fountain was the one known for trying to kill the boys. New Bethany was known for sex trafficking, and Bethesda was known for selling babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many that you know of? How many homes? Do you know how many homes that there have been, or in the past, and then how many are active today?
I don't think I can give you an accurate number, but there's
Well, that's
hundreds.
fine.
There's 18 currently in Missouri alone that are IFB homes that are currently in operation. We got 6 shut down here, and there's 18 left just in Missouri, which is, to me, is horrifying.
It is horrifying. That is absolutely horrifying. It's just sad. It's just so sad.
We're still waiting to go to trial on Stephanie Householder, who was one of the co-owners of Circle of Hope. Her husband was arrested on 79 charges of sexual abuse and beating the girls, and she was arrested on, I believe, 29 charges of child abuse during the commission of a ritual or ceremony. He died a few months ago, but she is still up on charges. And so I think in this September, she's supposed to go to trial. And we're really hoping that she goes to jail on those charges, because she certainly deserves to.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
100%. We'll keep an eye on that for sure.
Would you please? Yes, because... And then Dr. Smock is in the Cedar County Jail here in Missouri. He's been in jail for 2 years. He's got multiple counts of child sexual assault charges pending against him. He was running a home, and he had been the doctor over at Agape Ranch. And he's got child sexual assault charges on him. So please, everybody, keep your prayers out. We need to get these people in jail, and we need to show them that you cannot do this to the children with impunity anymore. That we're out here, we're fighting for these kids. I go to every court hearing that I can get to. I want them to know that the survivors are here, and we see these kids, and we're not going to stop. Oh, Bubbles, thank you. You're so sweet.
Yeah, and we're very thankful for you and all the hard work that you're doing, and to try to get some accountability, because God knows there's not going to be enough accountability, but seeing some, and the more that happens, the more will happen.
I certainly hope so. Like the anti-troubled teen industry has gained so much momentum in the past 3 years. Like there's several shows on, like the program Troubled Teen Inc., Torture Teen Inc., that you can watch on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And Paris Hilton coming out and telling her story, that has really helped. We've gotten more exposure, and that has really helped people to believe us. So more people doing things like you're doing, that really helps. And we really appreciate it, because now people are willing to believe us instead of going, what did you do to deserve it? That just drives me insane, because I'm like, I didn't do anything to deserve to be tortured.
Nobody does some. Young girls.
Yeah.
Young girls.
Yeah, from 9 to 18, nobody deserves treatment like that. boys don't deserve that. Young boys don't deserve
No.
that. Even if you're kind of
The
naughty.
children. The
Yeah.
children.
That's not how you treat children. That's not how you do it.
No.
That is not what you do. You don't waterboard young boys and be like, that'll make you better. I mean, that's what you
I
do
know
to prisoners of wars, and you get in trouble for it.
there's so many stories that you can tell, I know. And there's, I mean, it's the amount. Oops.
That
The
was my kitty
amount.
cat.
I was
Sorry.
looking around. What was that? It's okay.
Bubbles got a message for you.
Oh, let's see. Bubbles says, please tell Miss M who I am. She doesn't know me as Bubbles. That's Brandy.
I figured
Bubbles
it was. I thought that was her
is Brandy.
picture.
Yes.
I figured that was
Yes.
her picture. I love the name Bubbles, though. That's so cute.
She used to go by Brandy all the time, and then later
Did
she
she?
decided she changed it to Bubbles, and yeah. Oh, by the way, for the record, see that profile picture of Bubbles? That
Uh-huh.
is the real Bubbles. So just
Oh.
there is an imposter that goes around to different channels pretending to be Brandy. And I just want everybody to know that is not
Oh, my
Brandy.
word.
Yeah.
Brandy has just been so sweet and so amazing that I'm just really blessed to have met her.
Yeah.
I am so
She's
blessed.
special. Melinda says we cannot go back in time and get retribution for the girls we shared time with, but thankfully there are those that are fighting for the children today. Yes.
Right. Like, we can't fix
Amen.
what happened to us. We can't. We can't go back and fix it. We can't fix the damage. I mean, we can fix it. We've healed. We've healed mostly, but we can prevent other kids from going through what we did and from having to heal. I have this saying called "No More Survivors," because I don't want other kids to go through what we did and having to heal from what we did. Because it's not necessary. It's just not necessary.
No, it's not.
I can't
We
stress it
got to
enough.
prevent it from happening again.
Yes,
We've
ma'am.
got to help shut down the ones that are active today.
Yes, ma'am. I can't agree more. I know.
Yeah,
I was so excited when we found Melinda's son. I couldn't believe it. We found him. We connected him within like a day. He found my TikTok and got hold of me. And then I posted it in the group. And within like the same night, she was like, "It's me." Because I posted it in the group. If you had a boy on this date, your son's looking for you. And that same night, she was like, "This is me." So we like found him right away. We connected him. It was just amazing. They look just like each other.
Praise God.
Yeah, it's
That
so
is
cool.
amazing. That is amazing.
It is the neatest thing when we connect
Melinda,
one.
we're so happy for you. That is awesome.
Yeah,
That is
healing those
awesome.
old wounds.
Yeah, we want to hear more of those stories because you know that there are still children, well, adults now, especially,
Yeah,
that are looking for their birth mothers, the
we
ones that were
laugh.
forced to give them away.
We laugh because we call him the baby, and he's 47, and we're like, I wonder what he thinks of us calling him the baby. He probably doesn't feel much like a
Oh,
baby.
Melinda, that is wonderful. That is so good to hear. So good to hear.
That makes my heart so happy.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Like I always, because what got me started on looking for the babies was being at Bethesda was so awful as it was. I can't imagine being there and being pregnant and having to give up a child or having your baby just taken from you. I can't even imagine. So I thought maybe we could try to do something. And it's so difficult because of the way the records were kept and everything. But slowly but surely, we're finding little babies here and there.
So what we'll do, we will I'll get all the links of that you can give me that you want to share with me, and I will post them in this live stream,
Okay.
in the information. That way, anyone that possibly might see it
Okay.
can reach out to you. And
That'd be great.
yeah, wouldn't it be wonderful to get a success story?
Oh, that'd be
You know,
amazing.
I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah. We still got mamas waiting, so check on him in the crib, but he's too big. Give him a burp or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That is such a beautiful story. Beautiful story.
Yeah.
But
We
maybe you can come and tell your story, Melinda, one day if you. It's just like basically talking on the telephone. I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's not
just
hard.
nah, nah, just video chatting. That's why I try to tell people which I think some people are just more comfortable with being on it, and some people get really nervous. But we can do a test where you're not even online. You're just talking to each other.
Like it's just like it was such an awful experience, but like we've made some good come out of it. Like we have our sisterhood, and that's a blessing. And we're
Yes,
finding
yes.
babies, and you just have to make what good come out of it that you can. And
Right. So, does
that's the best you
anybody
can
in
do.
chat have questions that they'd like to ask him? Please feel free to ask.
Yeah.
I know. Bubbles is maybe she might have some questions that
Yeah.
she'd like
Like
to.
we had weird dietary restrictions. If anybody wants to know about those,
Well, you can
let's
just tell us. Go ahead and tell us.
let's see. They went by Leviticus. Was it 11 or 13? 11. It's been a long time since I read it. We couldn't eat shellfish. We couldn't have black pepper. We couldn't have caffeine, so no chocolate. And no, let's see, what else? And we couldn't eat on Saturday morning. So I don't know why we couldn't have black pepper. Like, I'm not sure. I don't remember that being in the Bible anywhere. I don't know why black
Black
pepper was.
pepper? I've
Yeah.
never heard black pepper. I did learn something about seafood the other day I didn't know about, but
What's that?
apparently we're not supposed to eat shrimp. I don't know how I got to look that up, but
We couldn't
somebody
have,
informed me that we're not supposed to eat shrimp. I don't know what that's in the Old Testament or when it is, where it is, but I'm going to find out.
we could
Because I
not
love
have
shrimp.
bacon. Like, I
Yeah.
missed bacon. I must have eaten a pound of bacon after I got out. I
Oh,
made
yeah.
myself sick on bacon because I love bacon.
It's not kosher.
No, it is not kosher, but man, is it delicious. Ugh.
Oh, I eat bacon. I ate bacon today.
I would eat bacon every day if I could get away with it. I uh,
Oh. And
and
I
they
have
make us
yet to
eat
eat a
carob.
crawdad, Melinda. I have yet to eat one.
Oh, we used to eat them when I was a kid. We used to they would make us eat carob. It's a poor excuse for chocolate. I think they should go to hell just for that. That stuff is
Yeah.
terrible. Oh my gosh, I remember one time I cleaned out the pantry. I had pantry duty in the kitchen, and I like to condense things. It's just a weird tick in my brain, and I wanted to condense all the open flour containers. And I noticed when I was doing it that they had bugs in it, like those weevil things.
Yeah.
And so I threw it all in the trash. And Mrs. Wills made me get it all back out of the trash and put it back in because it was wasting food. And we had to
Oh,
eat the flour
no.
with the bugs in it.
Oh, wow.
I guess it was
Oh, wow.
protein. But we ate the bugs. Got
Phew. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine. I've had like pasta that I'd had,
Uh-huh.
and I've opened it up before and seen some. I'm like, oh no.
See, that's what you would think, but no. She was like, do you think we can just afford to throw away food? You girls are expensive. Get it back out of the trash. So she had me take it back out of the trash can, pour it back in there, and just get the pieces of trash out of it.
Gosh.
Blech. And I remember one time they made me go out and help clean out this walk-in freezer. And it was stocked full of like frozen food. And I was like, like, look at all this food. Like, why can't we just eat this? Like, it was stuff that we never ever got to have. And like, my guess is that food was there in case we got raided by the state, so they wouldn't have to go out. Like, they could just keep us inside till the state ran away. But it was full of food. They could have fed us.
Yeah. Well, I do believe we have somebody in the back chat that wants to come up and ask some questions. So,
Okay.
and we have Brandy.
Miss Brandy.
There's Miss Brandy.
Hi, sweetheart.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Hello.
Thank you, sweet darling.
how are you, Miss Ela?
I love you.
How are you?
I think that there's a little bit of a delay.
Do I have an echo?
No echo.
No?
No. Maybe for you, but not for us.
Mm-mm.
Have you got your YouTube open? You may want to close YouTube and just leave StreamYard open.
Okay. Can you
Did
guys
that
hear me?
help? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Okay, great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Good. I'm so proud of you, Miss Ann.
Oh, thank you, Miss Brandy. Thank you.
I was so happy. I was like a little kid in the candy store when you guys started. I was like, oh, I love it. I'm so happy. But I just wanted to say that you did really, really well, and I am so proud of the advocacy work that you do, and not just for yourself and your sisters, but for all the kids now that are in need rescued.
Your sound is a little off now. You were really good when you first came on, but now it's really off.
Okay, because you know I was good when I first came on because I had my earbuds in.
Your new ones?
Yes, ma'am.
Are they dead now?
No, ma'am.
You put them back in.
Yes, ma'am. Let me do that now.
Oh.
Okay. I want to thank everybody that's in the chat. Thank you all so very much for being here. And please share this out. Tell everybody that you know about this, because this is such a hidden. It's hidden. There's not much spoke. That's talked about when it comes to it. I mean,
It's such an odd part of history.
Yeah, and it's people want to keep it quiet because I mean it was. Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of people say, "Oh no, that never happened. We never treated them that way."
Yeah. I was truly amazed when I went back to Hattiesburg and Petal back in 2021, and I talked to the sheriff and the coroner, Butch, and I was really amazed. They were so kind. I was just waiting for one of them to say, "You deserved it," or it was a good thing. And they were so sweet. And they were like, you were the original trafficked victims here in our county. We are so sorry that you were not protected in our county. They were so kind. And that was really healing for me to hear that from somebody in charge in Hattiesburg. Because used to be the sheriff would just take us right back to Bethesda if we ran away. Like we couldn't get away. But so when I went back to visit in 2021, everybody was so kind. That was really nice because I was mad when I got back in 2021. I was just waiting for somebody to say something and I was going to write. And everybody just threw me off guard because they were so nice.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, Brandy, are you back? She's muted. Are you better now?
Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, much better. Much.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All I was saying was that I was just really, really, really proud of Miss M and all the work that she's doing.
Oh, thank you.
You are no thanks needed. You are a hero.
Oh. Well, I don't think so. I just don't think I have a choice, really. If I want to live with myself, I really kind of have to.
You're a survivor. You're a survivor. And
Yeah.
and to be a survivor like you have, and then I mean, after everything that you endured there and what you're doing now, it's just mind blowing for us, really. I mean, there's so many people that could just sit back and say, "Oh, I'm the victim. I'm the victim. Feel sorry for me." But no, not you. Not you. And not a lot of these girls, not a lot of these women are standing up now and saying, "Yeah, I'm not I wasn't I'm a survivor. I'm a victim, but I am a survivor."
You got to come out swinging.
Right.
Yeah, it gives you a responsibility, I think, because and I know the damage that it can inflict, and I know the trauma it caused in my own life. And if I can spare some kids that, I think that's a good thing.
Outy, I want to let you know I got my package and I absolutely love my Tumblr and all the other stuff too. But thank you so much. Guys, Aussie True Crime is in Australia, and she was so kind to send me a Tumblr with my image on it, and it's just sweet.
Aww.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That's
okay,
sweet.
Brandy, we're ready for questions.
Well, the only person really asking questions was Miss Ann. And then Miss Melinda there started answering them. But a couple that she had asked in the beginning directly to Miss M. One of them was, what made you leave, and how did you leave from there?
I did my junior and senior year in like 2 months. And then my parents came and picked me up because I was just a couple of months away from my 18th birthday. And that's how I got out.
That's I got you. The other one was, did you have any siblings?
I have one brother, a younger brother, and an older sister.
Okay, but they didn't have to go through the things that you did.
No.
Okay.
And I haven't spoken with them in the same amount of time. My mother was like, well, you can't have any contact with your siblings either, even though my sister is 3 years older than me and my brother is 7 years older than me, but I haven't had any contact with any of my biological family in over 3 decades, which is really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. So the only family that I have is my Bethesda family.
Yeah, sometimes isn't it funny how we find family in other people? who really are
Mhm,
our
it
family,
is.
but they are. Right. One thing I did want us to ask you, if you didn't mind talking about, was you mind telling the chat about Connie?
Oh God, Connie.
You don't have to.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
Connie. No, that's okay. Connie and a couple of other girls ran away, and they made it they made it back to town, which is amazing. And they ran at night. It was kind of stormy out. They ran and made it to town, and Connie stepped back into the highway. She got hit by a truck and she got killed. Um, a gentleman in a truck accidentally hit her and killed her. So she's buried up in Golden, Colorado. I've been to her grave multiple times. We go up there and just remind her that we still love her. We're thinking about her. They made the girls go to her funeral and look at her so you could see what God does to people who step outside of his will and run.
So that's what they were teaching. They told you that that was the will of God, and we know God had no hand in that. God had no hand in it. I mean, that's how I believe. I don't believe God.
Yeah, we were really not. God really wasn't love. It was all fire and brimstone,
Right.
and
Right.
God was up there with a great big fly swatter going whack.
Right.
It was
Y'all weren't taught the love of God. It was, yeah, it's just so sad. So sad.
everything was doubt your salvation. Like, you're not saved or you wouldn't act like that. You're not saved, you wouldn't think that. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Miss M, for telling us about that. I just wanted to kind of honor her as well tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah, we will
Absolutely.
never forget Connie.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible what happened. The gentleman that hit her, we don't blame him at all. It wasn't his fault. It was dark. He couldn't see her, obviously. So,
Right. Yes, ma'am. And it's, I mean, just because I've been out there and seen where the home was, there's no way. It's so dark out there. You want to ask her that question?
So how did your parents react when you did tell them the horror stories?
they didn't believe me. They said because I had not put it in my letters home that I was lying. My mom called me a liar. Yes, the ones running the home Sharon are still living. Their names are Bob and Betty Wills, and they live in Gardendale, Alabama.
And you may find them on Facebook, right, Miss M?
Yep, Betty Gray's Wills. She is on Facebook. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. So we could possibly go comment and
Go say hey. Tell her M sent you.
I do believe they're very familiar with you, aren't they, Em?
I'm probably still blocked.
Hey.
Yeah, I hope they still do. Yeah, pretty awful. Yeah.
They would have censored that.
Yeah. They
We could
she is still on Facebook. Their daughter is on Facebook. Debbie She wasn't at Bethesda. She came to Bethesda occasionally. She was more involved in running Mountain Park, which was in Missouri. Oh, honey.
I'm so sorry. So, do
Parents are
you guys
horrified. I'm glad your
remember?
parents listened. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, 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 no. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. That's the only thing. There's like a little delay, and it's
Yeah.
hard to get it exactly right sometimes. But I was just wondering, do you remember any girls becoming pregnant while you were there, or have you heard about some of the girls getting pregnant while they were in captivity?
I only remember one girl who had been there for 5 months who found out she was pregnant after she had been there. But I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't know. Um,
Tell us what we can do.
what
Tell
you can
us
do,
what we can do.
you can write your senators and House of Representatives and express your concern over these homes and ask them to stand with you and with survivors in regulating these homes and getting them closed down and letting them know that it's just not okay, that these are not churches, that these are cults, that these are not good places for these kids, and that these are not going to turn out. These are not going to fix these kids, and that these kids need help. These kids need to be rescued. These are like good. These kids either go into the military or they go into prison a lot of times, especially the boys. It's what it's good prep for. Like I could have done boot camp in a dress and high heels when I got out of there. No problem.
Wow. Well, did you have a dress code while you were there?
We had to wear dresses. We could wear
But that's why
culottes.
you were talking about climbing a tree with a dress on, right?
Yes. Oh, Melinda, you're so sweet. Yeah, if anybody wants to ever send gas money to help me get back and forth to some of these homes, I spend a lot of my money getting back and forth to Jefferson City, which is our capital city, to see the things. I'm always open to. If anybody wants to send gas money, I am on a limited budget. That would be helpful. Thank you,
Okay.
sweetheart.
Do you have your Cash App by some chance?
Oh.
Do you have Cash App?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
If you want to, can you get to the back chat? The private chat?
Oh, yeah.
Just put it in there and then I'll share it.
While she's doing that, do you know she was talking a little bit ago about Herman Fountain?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the video I showed you one night? And he was talking. They were showing him the pictures of the children's whip marks from the switch, and how he was like, "No, it doesn't bother me." That's who she's talking about.
Oh,
That man is the devil incarnate.
I believe it.
yeah.
He is a terrible, terrible man. Like, they used to take us from Bethesda. I'm laughing, but I'm laughing because it's so awful. They used to take us from Bethesda to Bethel to scare us, to remind us that it could be worse. They'd take us to show us Herman Fountain and be like, see, we could be doing this to you.
Right, and isn't that awful? We're going to threaten you with this.
Yep. See, we're doing this stuff to you, but it could be worse. We could be waterboarding you.
Oh
We could
gosh.
be shaving all your hair off, but we're not doing that, right? So you better straighten up. We're not
Right?
sticking pit bulls on you.
Right? Like you were supposed to be grateful then.
Exactly. We were supposed to be grateful for not having pit bulls biting us.
Right. Yes, ma'am. That's horrible.
Yeah. I mean, terrible. Just terrible. Like one boy had his testicle sac torn open and had to have it sewed back by Fountain's wife in the kitchen. I mean,
Oh, dear Lord.
yeah, I mean, this is the kind of horrific stuff that I grew up with as a teenager. And then they're like, how come you're not normal? Well, because I'm a roll-off kid. Sharon, I don't know. I don't know if any of the girls got pregnant by Barnwell. I don't think any of the girls got pregnant by Wills. I don't remember Mr. Wills abusing anybody sexually. It was more physically. That's a good question. Bert Barnwell did rape some of the girls. It certainly is possible. It wouldn't have really surprised me because he was a terrible man. He was gone before I got there. They got run off because of the abuse, because of the sexual abuse and the physical abuse. Dot was just beating the girls horribly. And he was abusing them sexually. They were beating 9-month pregnant girls. They were beating them. They had to, the Southern Poverty Law Center had to get an injunction against them saying you can no longer spank pregnant girls. And you can't make them fast. You have to feed pregnant girls. I mean, how horrible is that? Like, you should not have to tell people things like that.
No.
To me, that's mind-boggling. Don't beat a pregnant girl.
You would think that would be understood.
You would think that should just be a given, but it was not. And like they used to make fun of the girls that were pregnant. If the girl, because they would say, well, you have a choice. You can choose to fast or you can choose to eat. Because according to the courts, we have to give you a choice.
This is
But and then if they chose to eat, they would make fun of them.
Oh man.
You have a beating story you witnessed to that haunts you to this day. Oh God. Oh Melinda. I
Melinda,
can believe it.
we're going to schedule you a little visit on Miss Chewy's channel. And I would be honored to have you come up and tell your story. I would be
Girls,
honored.
if they tried to commit suicide, they would beat them. Like,
I got swats on the palm of my hand when I was carrying my baby in there for stupid things like water in the sink after using it.
see, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's awful.
That's just disgusting.
We'd love to hear your story, Melinda.
We sure would.
Yeah.
Stuff like that just keeps me speaking out because what the heck? Like, what in the heck? Luckily, the Barnwells are both dead. Mrs. Barnwell died in, I think it was 2021. As soon as I heard that she died, I drove the 10 hours down to Mississippi, and I went down there with the intention of peeing on her grave. And I was all set up to do it. I had on a dress and everything, but the guy that showed me where her grave was wouldn't move away far enough. So to my Bethesda sisters that were looking forward to me tinkling on her grave, I am so sorry. It was my intention, but I didn't get a chance. But I do have a nice picture of me flipping her grave off.
Oh, we'd like to see that.
I'll pull it up and send it to you.
You can show it on your phone if you want to, and I'll make you big.
I can find it. It was so funny. Like I drank a whole bunch of water, and then he showed me where her grave was, and then I had told him, I said, like, this lady tortured my sisters, and like I am trying to find her grave so I can take a picture. And then he just moved like a row or two away, and I'm like, please, I have to pee so bad, please go away. And he didn't, so all I could do was flip her off and keep on moving. She was a terrible, terrible person. She died of kidney failure at 98 or something.
I just want to let you know that one of my moderators and her family just sent you $50
Oh my
to
word!
go
Thank
toward
you.
Your travels and whatever you needed.
Oh,
And I want to personally thank Turtle Talk and her
thank
family
you
for the
so
support.
much. That
Turtle
is so
Talk is
helpful.
an amazing supporter of the channel, and not just a supporter of the channel. Turtle Talk is a dear friend of ours and
Oh,
sister that we love very much. And thank you, Turtle Talk, for everything.
that is so kind.
You are amazing.
Yes,
We
I gotta plug in and say thank you to Turtle Talk too. That was so awesome of her.
Yes.
That was so kind. We are just. I wish I could find that picture. I wish I could find
Well,
the
you
picture.
can we can show it later. There's no hurry with it, but I just thought that would be
It was so funny. I drove
funny.
20 hours to do that.
That's dedication.
Yeah, it is.
Right. My sisters deserved it. They deserved it. She was a terrible, terrible person. Like, I thought the wills were bad, and honestly, the barn wills were so much worse. It's just nobody deserves to go through what we went through. Like, they had an opportunity to do some good in the lives of teenagers, and instead they chose to do what they did. And it looks like they're going to get away with it in this lifetime, so we can only hope that in the next lifetime they will not, whatever that entails.
Miss M, do you know Jax 105?
Uh-huh.
Okay, he or she was speaking to you in the chat.
I'm sorry. What was the name?
Jax 105. He says, she says, hi, Mama Bear.
Aww. Hi.
I missed that. Oh, there it is. Welcome.
Hi, babe.
So, can you tell us? Do you want to tell us who Jax is? If you can't, that's fine too.
Jax, you want to tell them who you are?
If you'd rather not, that.
I want to see if they want to tell.
Okay. Yep, she's my mama.
That's
awesome. Thank you for supporting your mama, Jax. That is amazing. You've got a special, super, super special mother. I'm sure you are aware. And we are so grateful for her coming up and telling her story. So, Em, do you have anything else that you'd like to share before we leave it? Now, keep in mind, you can come back to this channel anytime you like. All you have to do is reach out to us. And if you've got news you want to share or anything, we will be happy to allow you to come up and inform everybody and share it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just saw her comment in the chat. That's the Nicole you told me about,
Brandy, you're all jumbled up, sweetie.
Of course I am.
Ooh, that was better.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Much better.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea what happened because I didn't do anything differently. But who knows? But Nicole, that's the one you told me about to get a hold of, right? Okay, yay!
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. That's my Nicole. That's who it is.
Okay, awesome.
She was in the Victory home in Victory in Pace, Florida. She's my adopted program daughter.
I know about that
She
all too
I have one of those.
well.
yeah. We met through I do the program, the survivor support, and we met through that several years ago. We've just been extremely close anymore, so I'm her mama bear.
Well, good.
So
I'm
we're
glad
very
she
close.
came in.
I am too. You might
I
want
was
to
gonna
talk to
reach
her.
out to her. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Okay.
She has a great story as well.
Yeah, we love
And
anyone that would like to come. You tell all of them about us, and
I
any
will.
of
Thank
them
you
that would
again
like
so
to come up
much.
and talk to us.
It's such a blessing, and thank you again so much for giving me this platform and giving me this time, and for your kind interest in our plight, and for your interest in helping these kids, because they really deserve it. No kid deserves to be an inmate and treated like that without even being convicted of a crime. All your parents has to do is say that you're a problem. We weren't even convicted of anything.
Bless you,
If you
Miss
have
Ann.
ADHD or a learning disability, you can be sentenced to one of these homes. It's not okay.
You're right.
Man.
And
You
thank you
know,
for being their voice.
Yes, thank you,
oh,
thank you.
it really is my pleasure. Like
And Miss
anything I
Ann,
can do to help these kids.
would you tell them about agape?
Oh yeah, let me tell you about agape. Woo. Agape in Cedar County, Stockton, Missouri. Agape Ranch was a boys' home here in Missouri. It was an IFB, unlicensed home. We spent 4.5 years fighting Agape Ranch. One, woo. If I cuss, y'all just ignore me. I'm
No, you're
sorry. I
fine,
get pretty
honey.
heated.
You're fine.
It,
You're fine.
it was a
You have
hell of a
every
fight.
right to.
These boys were being, raped. These boys were being raped. They were being hit with fire extinguishers. They were being trafficked. One boy had he was his own, he had been emancipated from his parents, his mother in California, and they gooned him. So what that gooning means is a transport service came and kidnapped him. And illegally, the FBI called him and said, you have to take this boy back. He is his own entity. He is emancipated. His mom does not have the right to authorize this pickup. You take this boy back to California. The transporter said, not doing it. Brought him to Missouri anyway, in handcuffs. Drove him in handcuffs the whole way from California. Took him to Agape Ranch. Kept him there for a week. 2 weeks. Shaved him bald. And kept him there until the dad was able to get him out. Federal charges are pending now. So,
Well, that's good.
hope you enjoy those charges, Julio. Can't wait to see you convicted, sweetheart. I'll be there. Those are pending in San Francisco.
I just love you, Miss Ann.
I'm petty. I can't help it. But they took him there and they shaved him bald. You know what they usually do that is to break your will. They'll shave you bald to break your will. But we ended up getting them closed. The same judge is seeing the householders case, the Agape Ranch cases. It's all in this one little podunk county that is corrupt. The sheriff's deputies, 3 of them were married into the family at Agape Ranch and or were working there. So when the boys were being interviewed about their abuse, the sheriff's deputy that was married into the family was sitting there on the interviews in his sheriff's deputy's uniform. So, of course, the boys were like, nope, we're not being abused. We're just fine. Because they knew damn well what was going to happen is they were going to be left.
Yeah.
When I was in Bethesda, I had been there for 2 months. I had just gotten out of the closet after I'd been beaten, those licks that I told you about. Intimidation attacks, exactly. That's exactly what it was. They then locked me naked in a closet for 30 days. I had just gotten out of that. They called me to the office, and these 2 men that looked like IFB preachers with the short haircuts, the military haircuts, and in the suits and ties, started asking me questions. And Mrs. Wills was pinching me in the shoulder right here on the pressure point in your shoulder where the nerve is. And they were asking me questions like, do you like it here? And she'd pinch me. Oh, yeah, I love it here. Do you want to be here? Oh, yeah. Would you go home if you could? Oh, no. Like, I had no idea what was going on. And then after I got out and I found my foster parents where I had been taken from, she goes, honey, when the FBI came and tried to take you away and you didn't come, you told them you didn't want to come, it just broke my heart. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, when you had been there a couple of months and the FBI finally found you and you said you didn't want to come home to me, it just broke my heart. And I'm like, oh my God, that was the FBI. Like, why didn't they just tell me? Because if I had known they would have taken me out of there, I would have been like, please get me the fuck out of here.
Right. I agree. I understand that. I can understand that.
Please now. But I had no idea. So same thing. They should never interview kids with their abusers. Yeah. And but anyway, Agape, the dispatcher, was the daughter of the owner of Agape Ranch. So we were dealing with that whole thing. So these kids would run away. The sheriffs gather them up, traffic them right back. We went out there. We had a rally out there at Agape Ranch. One of the guys tried to run us over with his pickup truck.
So Jax is not actually your son, right? Is he a survivor?
She.
Jax is a she. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So, looky, who do we have there?
Oh, that's Clarky.
Hi, Clarky. So Jax is a she, and Jax is a survivor, right?
Yes, she went to Victory, which is a roll-off school that was in Florida.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, welcome, Jax. Okay, I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry for the confusion. But we're so happy that you had joined us. And again, we would be happy for you to come tell your story too, darling. Because we want to bring so much to light. Because we know what's done in the dark will come to light. And we are a firm believer when it comes to that.
Oh, Jax is Nicole. That's who I was talking about a minute ago.
Okay. Well, you are really hard to understand a little bit, so.
Of course I am.
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
my luck.
So it's Nicole.
So Agape Ranch. We ended up getting that gentleman put on the Do Not Work with Children Ever Again in Missouri, Brian Clemenson.
Yay.
He fought us tooth and nail. One of his arguments for not being put on the list was He's 54, and if we do that, we'll take away his livelihood. He doesn't know how to do anything else but work with children.
Oh, bless it. Ugh.
That's kind of the whole idea, jackass.
So
We
say,
don't
oh,
want you to work.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. It's like, oh, poor Punky.
Oh, yeah.
He was making $44 million a year off those boys. They were charging between $4,000 and $6,000 a month for the boys to be there. Then they were also pimping them out to do construction projects and stuff in the town.
Oh, wow. That's just.
And yeah, this fight went international. We got them all over the nation. We got them all over the world. The Kansas City Star did excellent articles on Agape Ranch. If you want to look up the Kansas City Star, Laura Bauer did some amazing, and Judy Thomas did excellent articles. They were astounding allies in our fight. City. Oh, do you? Mm-hmm. Well, y'all ought to come visit sometime. We'll hang out.
Okay.
I'll go show you where Agape Ranch is.
Actually, they were just here.
Oh, really?
They were just here. That was, I said I had family. Yes, they were just here. They just got home yesterday. So, yeah.
Oh.
But it's Kansas City, Kansas, but that's right there together, isn't it?
It is. I'm about 2.5 hours from there. I'm down closer to like the southwest corner. I'm in like the Joplin, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas area.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Well, I'm telling you what.
I tell you, it's so funny that you can look on these websites and they'll say the cheap alternative to boarding schools. We're the cheap boarding school. That's a good warning sign for these homes. And they'll usually have Bible verses on their website, and usually it'll be something from the Old Testament about discipline, like train up a child in the way he shall go, and he will not depart from it. Oh, they're going to beat your child stupid.
That's so sad.
That's how you translate that. When I was talking with one of the House of Representatives, I cornered him in a hallway, this poor man. I just cornered him. And I said, can I just talk to you? I'm like, you want these people to monitor themselves, but I am telling you, they monitored me and they didn't do a good job. And I said, you want to do this? I said, you need to have a survivor on this committee so they can translate and tell you this is what that means.
Right.
Maybe that might be a handbook.
Right.
I think that should be in the handbook. If you have a survivor on the committee, then I think that's an excellent idea, because the survivor knows what's actually going on, because we can translate. It might sound good on paper, but we can look at it and go, you know what that means? That means they're only going to feed them when they feel like it.
Right. Miss Em, we should add that to that handbook that we were working on.
That might be the only thing you might be able to hand in that handbook, because you were very comprehensive. But maybe just include a survivor on any committee.
That's a good idea. I can add that to it.
Yeah, but other than that, you did such a great job on that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, they are very.
So and I know we're talking about how awful that these children were treated in these, and we're using that they use the scare tactics of God and the Bible. Make no mistake, we are not saying that every place, every home that uses, Christian or, uses the Bible or uses God, not all of them are like these places.
I'm sure they're
No.
not.
Yeah, not all of them are that way, because we know we do have a loving God, but we have to be careful. We have to be careful because the bad places are using God
Yes.
as a cover. So
And
just make
I
sure
think,
you do your research. If you decide to send your child to somewhere that uses God, please do research. Find out from people that have been there,
make sure
families,
there's
and
accountability.
yes, yes,
Don't let
yeah.
them tell
Just be
you you
very
can't
careful.
talk to your child. Don't let them tell you you can't come see your child whenever you want to. If they're restricting access to your child, there's probably a reason. Just be
Yes,
suspicious. Your child is your most precious asset. Treat it like that. Don't treat your child like your biggest problem. Treat it like your most precious asset that you're never going to be able to put back together if you break it.
no. Look at how many people have lost those assets over
Children
years
kill
in their
themselves
life.
in these children
Yes,
die in these programs.
yes, Melinda. Please do research. Research.
Please do your research. Don't just take the first place that you can afford or the first place that has an opening. Like, look them up. Like with my parents, I have to laugh. I'm like, really? My Bethesda was sued by the Southern Poverty Law Center, the place that shut down the Ku Klux Klan, and that's the one you went. Yeah, let's put them there. Let's put him there. That'll do her some good. That's the one for us. Are you serious?
Uh,
I love how
Oh
you deal with
boy.
things with humor.
Yes,
yeah.
you have to laugh about it. Plus, I worked in ERs for about 25 years, so I do have a very black sense of humor. I can joke about just about anything.
Unfortunately, Juicer, it's still happening.
Yes.
Maybe not to the
Uh,
extreme as what happened at the Bethesda House in Mississippi. I don't know. I don't
Juicer,
know.
I go to all the court hearings for the homes that are still in existence today here in Missouri, and unfortunately, it has not changed. They do still do this. They say the same things to these kids that they said to me when I was in Bethesda. They are using the same punishment methods. They are doing the same things that they did to us. I'm so sorry to have to tell you that. But like, I walk out of there hysterical sometimes because they are doing the same damn things. It is horrific. It is 2025, and it might as well be 1984 in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And that's horrific. There's no
It's sad.
excuse for it. I mean, you would think that things.
That's where we come into play.
Yes.
That's where we come into play.
People who are willing to stand in the breach, like you and Miss Brandy. You're right, Nicole. They do still hurt kids. They do skirt the law as much as possible because they stand outside the law because they're like, we're a church. And you're like, no, you're a cult. It's so aggravating.
I believe
When
it.
I was fighting Agape Ranch, like they would pull me over every time I went into Stockton. The cops would pull me over every time I went into town. They were pulling me over.
That's harassment.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. I got handcuffed to the wall in their jail once. They dropped those charges because they didn't have a choice, but still, I did get handcuffed to their wall.
Wow.
It's a hoot here in Missouri. You never know what's going to happen.
I got a feeling a lot of people know who you are, Miss M.
Have mouth will travel. I tell you what, as long as I can, I will always be an advocate for the children who are. Oh, thank you, Miss Ann. I know you have to laugh about it, and then you have to try to do what you can about the situation. Yeah, they saw me coming, Linda. You're right. They saw me coming. They're like, get the handcuffs. Here comes him. All we did was take a birthday cake to a kid. I mean, come on. No sense of humor.
Hey, Miss M. I just thought about something. You told a story about when you went to not exactly sure where it was that you went, but you were holding up a sign. Maybe something about hussies and pogo sticks or something.
Oh, no, it was one of the things that Christy used to say to us in the home was she used to call us fence post humping hussies. So when we had our first rally for Agape Ranch, I went down there and I held up a sign that said 52 and still never humped a fence post yet.
Oh my goodness.
And that's what I mean about Miss M.
Still never found one remotely attractive. There's too many splinters for this girl. Yep, fence post humping hussies.
Oh.
Thank you for sharing that, Miss M.
Yes.
That's so funny. I almost forgot that. Yep, I sure did. I made that sign. That was so fun. That was so liberating when I went down there with that sign. I'm like, yep. And it was so funny because I ran into a Mountain Park girl and she knew exactly what I meant. She's like, oh my God, Miss Christie. I was like, oh, you're a Parky. I love you. Oh my God. Yep.
Wow. Yes.
It was, she knew exactly. She knew I must have been a Bethesda girl because that was Christy saying, always called us fence post humping hussies.
That is so funny.
When the owner, this is terrible, when the owner of Agape Ranch died during the fight, James Clemenson died. I went up there with a sign that said congratulations from the Agape boys, and I took some balloons that said yay and happy and joy, and I tied them to the sign at Agape Ranch and put the sign up there and taped it to their sign.
She doesn't speak silently, does she?
They chased me clear back through town. They were so mad.
Oh, thank you, H. Thank Brandy for that.
So sometimes it can be kind of fun doing this advocacy work, but you got to be careful. Make sure your car is running good before you pull stuff like that. But so sometimes there's some fun moments. But
you got to make you. It can't be all doom and gloom, you know. You have
really
to make light of some situations.
You really do, because you'll burn out, and it's not good for your mental health just to be upset all the time. So you have to take it where you can get it. But boy, they were not happy about that one. They were most unhappy about that. Ooh, they were mad.
Oh, I bet.
I was going to write hope it was painful on there, but I ran out of room.
Missing him.
a crackerjack. I'm just so happy. I was so happy to call you a friend now. You know, I am. I'm so
We are
happy.
definitely friends.
Yeah.
I like to tell people I was not a troubled teen, maybe a troubled adult, but not a troubled teen.
That I seen
No.
you, Miss Ann. When you, she said, when I'm saying Miss M, she thinks that like I'm talking to her, Miss Ann,
Yeah.
and so I was telling her, I see you, Miss Ann.
It is part of the
Aw.
healing process, Miss Mullen, because we could not, like, if we had talked back to anybody at Bethesda, like, we probably would have lost teeth.
Oh,
Like,
I can imagine. I can imagine. Let me ask you one question. Was there ever any? I know you said the FBI came in that day, and you wish that you had known that was actually them. But
yeah.
do you ever remember, besides the ones that ran and unfortunately lost their life when they ran? Do you ever remember someone getting away and then authorities coming in, but and
No, it was always, if like a couple of girls would run, there was nowhere to go. It was out in the boonies. And then they just take you back and beat you. And that'd be the end of it.
it was a big area. I mean,
200
the
acres.
200 acres. Wow.
Yeah.
I know it took
And
Brandy and her family a while to get back there.
Yeah. And there was a like a small pond right out by there was a small pond out there, and it had like leeches and maybe a gator or so in it. So I mean, and you got to run up the road. If somebody did stop to give you a ride, they were just going to put you right back there. They were going to come after you in trucks, and there just really was nowhere to go. The cops were going to come after you, and you're a troubled kid. Nobody, by reputation, what else? Why would you be at Bethesda if you weren't a bad kid? Nobody's going to believe you. Nobody did. No.
Miss M, ironically, right beside there now, I don't know if you guys seen it the last time you were there, but there's now whiskey on the river. That's I guess a new business or something to that effect, where they hold and they call it whiskey on the river. Out and you turn off right before you get to the home. You turned off on a dirt road, but so I obviously didn't go back there, but I just thought I would share that with you.
I wonder what it is. Like, what, you just go out and get drunk on the water?
It's what it sounds like.
Is there water back there?
It sounds like it may be a brewery or something like that, maybe.
You know what? I'm going to look it up as we're talking.
Or a bar. It could be a bar and grill or something. Okay, that would probably be a good idea. What we ever do without Google.
Yeah, I didn't know there was water back there. Like, we weren't encouraged, like, we weren't allowed to go walk the property. So, like, really, all I saw was the inside of the buildings, walking back and forth.
Right? The Leaf River.
The FBI came in.
Yeah, it's called Whiskey on the River. Wow.
So when the FBI came in, when the FBI came in, they were all too scared to say anything was going on. They were threatened.
I don't think they talked to anything but me. I don't think they talked to anybody but me.
Okay.
Like they didn't come in and do an investigation. They just, because I was in foster care and I had been taken across state lines, I had just disappeared. So they came in just to talk to me. They didn't do an investigation.
Gotcha.
So they just came in and said, oh, well, it sounds like she's happy. And they left. They didn't do a very good job, obviously.
Oh, wow.
Their
She saw a
interrogation
doctor one time. Wow. I actually asked the doctor that I'd only saw once toward the end of my 9 months to move my date so I could be released earlier, and he refused. I'm sure he had been working for them for years anyway. Oh, yeah, you can tell. It was a
Probably.
ring. It was a ring.
Yeah,
So
I'm
sad.
sure that hospital was in
So
on it
sad.
too. Forest General. Melinda, is Forest General where you gave birth? Oh, you were timid, honey. I'm so sorry. I know you wanted out of that place. It was a hellhole. Oh, it's okay, honey. It was a long time ago. I know. I wish they would have said something, but it's a bunch of wing nuts. It would have been nice if they said, we're the FBI and you can leave if you want to. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Oh
But now
wow.
it helps me know to bring up that these kids do not need to be interviewed with their abusers in the room. Like, hello.
Right. Like
So
you're
I'm
going to
very
get a true and accurate interview.
And these kids need to know that if they are being abused, they are not going to be left there. They have to know. Because if they disclose and they're going to be left there, it's not going to go well for them. Jackson's Women. Oh, okay. They took me to a small hospital, but I had complications. They moved you to Jackson's Women in Mississippi. Okay.
Well, at least I'm glad they took you to where you could get help,
Me too.
because what's scary is to think about the ones they didn't take, the ones that did have complications and that never came back to Bethesda House. What happened to
Yeah.
those girls? So
They
such
just,
a sad story.
I think they just deserve to rot in hell for what they did to my sisters. They really do. They really hurt a lot of people, and there's no excuse for it. I don't care if they had good intentions to begin with or not. It doesn't matter what their intentions were in the beginning, because it was what it was, and it is not okay what they did. And it's not okay what is still happening now. People are like, well, it made you what you are today. Well, who knows what I could have been
Yeah.
otherwise, you know?
Right. Right.
So
It would have been so much better if it hadn't happened. But
I sure would have liked to find out.
yeah. Yes, but I just found out at 65 that Chris was breech, and they didn't even put me in an ambulance. They moved me by car, and it was a long ride. Oh,
Oh, Melinda,
bless
that's
your
terrible.
heart.
Sweetheart.
So sad.
Yeah, their medical care was not really a thing there, because they didn't want you to escape or tell anybody what was going on. So it was a big deal. If you got medical care there, they would be on you like ducks on a June bug. Like, I never got medical care there. I remember, like, after I'd been there a year, they gave me a 2-week vacation to go home. And then I was supposed to come back. And when we were coming back, I was telling my dad, I was trying to tell him what was going on. And I was telling them, they're starving me. Like, they're starving us. And so he took me and he fed me really well. And then we showed up at Bethesda, and like I'm trying to tell him that this is what's going on. Please don't take me back. And we got there and we walked in and they were doing what is called a pig out, which is where they had like all this food and like the girls could eat all they wanted. And they only did it a few times a year, mostly on holidays. And it was not a holiday when I got back. So I think they just did it because my dad probably called them and said, "Are you feeding the kid enough?" So they're like, "Oh, let's show him," right?
Yeah.
So we opened the door and there was, yeah, but I was like, fucked. I'm just fucked. I was like, well, I'm not getting out now.
I don't understand why none of that was passed on to my parents or my existing doctor in my medical records. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Because you got substandard medical care.
Yeah.
That's why.
Hey, Miss M, I sent you a link of Whiskey on the River.
I'll be darned.
So what is Whiskey on the River?
It is it's a getaway apparently. Get off the grid, it says. And it says, in the forested rolling hills of southern Mississippi, a new retreat awaits. Located on the edge of DeSoto National Forest. Yeah. Whiskey on the River offers brand new riverside cabins. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Blue Lake Lane. Yep. Oh, my word. Good grief.
Yeah, that's the Leaf River I knew ran beside there because I grew up in that area. Darn. So I knew a little bit about it. But you can't see the river from the home and stuff. So it's understandable that you didn't know it was even there. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Wow.
I had no idea. Like, that's incredible. Like, I wonder, like, I know that Mr. Wills had a plane too, but like, I never saw the plane or where he kept it. But like, they had enough money for his private airplane, but they didn't have enough money to feed us all the time, right?
Makes you wonder if they had a strip there on the property.
They did, because he would fly it in and out.
Yeah.
I just have no idea. And like, they kept goats on the property too, because we would eat them sometimes. But I never saw the goats until they were on the plate. So, I mean, we were literally kept in the buildings. And like, how do you control 100 or so girls with 2 workers inside one building? Like, how do you do that?
Did you get to use the pool?
No.
Just ask that. I was just about to ask that same question. Like, it was just for show, I assume.
I think there was only like an inch or 2 of algae water in it that whole time I was there.
Oh, wow. So they never. Wow.
Yeah. And that horse that we were supposed to get to ride, I think I saw it twice the whole time I was there. From a distance. I did get to play Red Rover, though.
Oh, I remember Red Rover.
Yeah, there's nothing like playing Red Rover in a dress in Mississippi heat. Yeah, I remember that fondly.
Wow. Bless your soul.
Okay, Melinda. We will be in touch, sweetheart. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the support of the channel. Thank you for your super chats, and I really appreciate it. And I look forward to you coming and being with us and sharing your story.
I love you, Melinda. Thank you, sister. Love you. Thanks for your support, honey. Good night.
Good night.
Well, I'm going to drop off here and let you girls finish up. But I just had to come up and say thank you so much, Miss M, for Thank you for allowing yourself to be vulnerable.
Oh, I'm really happy to do it. Like I said, I can always talk about this, and I'm always willing to do whatever I can do to help get the word out, because it is such a weird piece of history, and like people don't understand that it's still happening, and it doesn't seem like it can be happening, but it's very much alive. It's kind of like the Indian reservation schools, where they just
Right.
try to wipe you off the face of the earth.
Oh, it's so awful. But thank you for being so strong, and I will talk to you soon. But and
Okay.
thank you, Mama, for letting us
Welcome.
use your platform too.
You're welcome, my sweet girl. See you later.
All right, love y'all.
Good night,
Yeah.
Brandy.
Good night,
Love
darling.
you. Good night.
Love you. Yeah.
What a peanut.
She's awesome. Well,
Like,
do you have any last words that you'd like to say? I'm sure this is not going to be your last time that you grace our
oh,
platform, our channel, but I want to thank you so very much for coming up and, like Brandy said, being vulnerable and taking the questions of our chat
it
and
was
of
quite the
me. I
honor.
mean,
It really was. I really appreciate you, and it was really my pleasure. You're so easy to speak with, and I appreciate it. Thank you for your kindness.
oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's
Oh,
our
thank you,
pleasure.
Turtle
Our
Pond.
pleasure.
You're so
Yeah,
kind.
that was Turtle Talk that sent you the $50, by the way. And I
Oh,
hope several others, times are hard. Times are hard. Even if it's $1, whatever, whatever
thank
you
you, Turtle
guys
Talk.
can do, it
Turtle
is
Talk, that's a
greatly,
whole tank
greatly
of gas.
appreciated.
Thank you so much. That really does help. That was a sweet thing for you to do.
Turtle Talk is a very giving person, and we are so blessed to have her a part of our family.
Oh, yeah,
But
I'm
again,
really,
I want to thank you, and
thank
if
you.
you guys can, if anybody, let me put her Cash App back out again. If at all possible, you can give, even if it's a couple of dollars. I mean, a couple of dollars here and a couple of dollars there, they add up. They add up. Uh-oh, I put it in the wrong place.
Yeah.
I put
And
it back
please
in the
write letters, write letters, like contact, call. Your support against these homes means the world to us. Spread the word, tell people, let people know this is
there.
not okay.
Again, there's Miss M's Cash App. If you, at all possible, if you can donate to help her out with gas money, getting back and forth to all the uh, going before Congress for one thing, and the Senate, and all the there are litigations that are happening that she is a part of. So please, if you at all possible, please come over and send her $1 or two. It's greatly appreciated. And again, thank you so very much. I appreciate you so much, and I look forward to having you as a guest again.
Thank you so much. You're a blessing.
You have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, you too. Good night.
Good night. So, Aussie, true crime. Thank you so much for a great and important life. Oh, thank you, Aussie. You are so sweet. Again, y'all, I'm telling you, um, I'm going to take a picture actually and post it on my community board of all the awesome gifts that Aussie sent me. I am such a blessed woman. such a blessed woman to have so many people that come and spend time with me and with our community over here. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. So let's look and see what all happened tonight. Besides everybody being here, first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming and spending time with us. Looks like Miss Ann's been a member for 3 months. Pat Gaines has been a member for 5 months. Thank you so, so much. A little bit. Tammy, member for 2 months. And let's see what we got here. Miss Melinda, that is a survivor. Thank you so much for the $1.99. And Miss Melinda, thank you again for the 99 cents. And Miss Melinda again for the $1.99. Thank you so very much for the contribution. It's greatly appreciated.
Don't forget turtle.
Oh, I ain't going to. And Little Lights Lost, whistle. Whistle while you lurk. Y'all, if you haven't subbed up to Whistle While You Lurk, please go over and sub up to her. She is doing great work, such great stories. I am so proud of her. I appreciate you so much, Whistle. Thank you for being here, doll. And I gifted 5 memberships. I'd have to go back and look and see who all got them. And then Turtle Talk. Turtle Talk, thank you so much for the $50 super sticker. You are amazing, my friend. I love you so much. And Miss Ann gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Miss Ann. We love you, and we are praying for you with your battle with the evil, evil cancer. And Aussie True Crime's been a member for 1 month. Thank you, Aussie. We love you, sweet darling. Thank you for being here. And let's see what we got. Oh, there we go. See, am I missing anything? Mr. Turtle Talk. Hey, darling. Good to see you. Y'all, Turtle Talk, Mr. Turtle Talk's been having some really bad weather. We've been really worried about them. Tornadoes around. So everybody that is in the areas of the bad weather, we are so praying for you, and that God protect you, that the blood be washed, the blood cover you, and keep you safe. And again, I want to thank everybody for being here. You guys are amazing. I love each and every one of you. And remember, when you can be anything in this world, just be kind. Treat people the way you want to be treated, and the world will be a lot better place. I love each and every one of you. And again, just be kind. Love you guys. Oh, and keep in mind, Wicked West has a live schedule. She's going to be doing a live tomorrow on her new channel. And I'm sure Brooks or somebody, if you could drop the link to it, that would, oh, there it is. Brooks is on it, y'all. If you can, sub up to Wicked West new channel, Hot Flashes, Hot Mess. She's going to be doing a live, and I appreciate all of you so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and till next time, we got a lot more coming when it comes to Bethesda House, a Bethesda Home for Girls, and all the affiliates when it comes to them. Thank you very much. Good night. Love you guys. Bye.